The next morning dawned with a soft orange glow cresting over the distant ridges, the kind of morning that felt calm on the surface but carried a quiet tension beneath it, as though the land itself remembered the stampede of the night before and was still whispering about it to the wind. Elena woke early, her body still heavy with the exhaustion of fear, but her heart strangely light, an unfamiliar warmth blooming through her chest the moment she remembered Colt Maddox promising he'd come back to check on her. And she found herself brushing her hair with more care than usual, smoothing the loose curls that had tangled in the chaos of the stampede, choosing a soft blue dress instead of her usual work clothes, though she kept telling herself she picked it simply because it was comfortable, not because Colt's warm brown eyes had lingered just a moment too long the night before. She stepped onto her porch, the boards still cool beneath her bare feet, breathing in the crisp morning air scented with sage and dust, her heart thudding with anticipation. She tried, and failed, to hide even from herself, and when she saw a dark speck cresting the hill, growing larger with every heartbeat, she felt a flutter in her chest she had no name for, the kind that made her tuck a stray curl behind her ear and straighten her posture as Colt rode into view atop Onyx, the morning sun painting horse and rider in gold, making them look almost unreal. Colt slowed as he reached her gate, swinging effortlessly down from the saddle, his boots hitting the earth with that familiar steady weight, and Elena felt her breath catch because he looked different in the gentle light. Softer, somehow, though no less strong, the edges of danger clinging to him like dust to his coat. He tipped his hat with that easy charm that always felt like a quiet promise and asked how she'd slept, and though she teased him that anyone would sleep poorly after almost being trampled by a few hundred wild horses, she admitted, quietly, that she had felt safe knowing he was out there somewhere, the admission slipping from her lips before she could think to stop it, her cheeks warming when she saw the way Colt's eyes softened in response. He didn't say anything at first, just stepped closer, his gaze searching hers like he was trying to read something she wasn't sure she knew how to express yet, and then he gently asked if she'd walk with him, that he had something she needed to see, something important, and despite the flicker of nerves dancing beneath her ribs, Elena nodded, trusting him in a way she rarely trusted anyone, feeling a strange mix of excitement and curiosity as he helped her onto Onyx's back, mounting behind her so smoothly she barely felt the shift until his arms were braced around her again, steady and warm, guiding the stallion into a calm trot toward the open prairie. The morning light shimmered on the tall grasses, the breeze carrying the faint scent of wildflowers as the world slowly opened before them, and Elena leaned back just slightly, feeling Colt's steady presence behind her, his voice low as he explained that last night wasn't just any stampede, it was the Great Drift, a rare event when wild Mustang herds from different regions merged and traveled together, a natural phenomenon only old cowboys and weathered ranchers believed in, something that happened once every few years and carried both beauty and danger in equal measure. Elena listened intently, fascinated by the way he described it, not with fear or bravado, but with reverence, like someone speaking of a force older and more sacred than man. And she realized then that the stampede had not just been an accident but a moment tied to the land's deep rhythms, something she had stumbled into unaware. Colt guided her toward a ridge she had never visited, a place overlooking a valley untouched by fences or human hands, where the grasses rippled like a sea beneath the wind, and when they reached the crest, Elena gasped softly because the valley below was filled with the remnants of the Great Drift. Hundreds of wild horses still moving in smaller, calmer patterns, their bodies gliding through the morning like shadows of beauty, their manes catching the sunlight as if lit from within. But that wasn't what Colt brought her to see. He pointed toward the far side of the valley where a young Mustang mare limped near the edge of the herd, her flanks streaked with dirt and her movements strained, and Elena recognized her instantly, the lost mare she had chased into the wildlands the day before. Emotion slammed into her, relief and guilt and gratitude all tangled together, and she asked if they could help her, fear knotting her voice at the thought of letting the animal suffer because of her mistake. Colt placed a reassuring hand on her waist, steady and warm, telling her they could. But it wouldn't be simple, because a wounded Mustang, especially one separated from its herd, could be unpredictable, fearful, even dangerous, and helping her would require patience, skill, and trust between them. Elena agreed instantly, her determination ignited, and Colt nodded with approval before guiding Onyx down the ridge, moving slowly to avoid alarming the mare as they approached on foot. The wild horse snorted nervously, tossing her head as Elena stepped closer, her hands open and empty, her heartbeat loud in her own ears as she whispered soothingly to the animal, telling her it was okay, that she was safe now, that they had come to help. Colt stood close behind her, ready to intervene if necessary but allowing Elena to take the lead, recognizing the soft strength in her voice, the quiet bravery that had drawn his attention long before the stampede. Inch by inch, Elena managed to get close enough to the mare to see the wound, nothing fatal, but a cut on her leg likely caused by a sharp rock during the chaos. And Colt moved and then, his hands steady as he worked to clean the wound with water from his canteen, Elena holding the mare's halter gently, her voice soft and constant as the animal trembled beneath her touch. It took time, more time than Elena expected, but eventually the mare calmed, accepting their help, her trembling easing as trust replaced fear, and when they finally finished, Colt tied a loose temporary bandage around the leg, saying it would hold until he could bring proper supplies from the ranch. Elena stroked the mare's neck, tears welling in her eyes not from fear this time but from relief and the overwhelming realization that something inside her had changed after surviving the stampede. She felt more connected to the land, to the animals, to Colt, and to herself than she ever had before. As they stood side by side, watching the mare limp slowly but steadily toward the safety of the herd, Colt spoke quietly, telling her that not many people could calm a wild horse like that she had something rare, something real, a natural strength that didn't need shouting or force, just a steady heart. And Elena felt her breath catch at his words, because coming from Colt, who lived and breathed horses,